Hi students, welcome to Film Appreciation. It's so good to have you, and I'm very excited about this semester coming up for us. A little bit about myself. My name is Kim Bryant, and I've been an educator for over 3 decades now. Most of it in theater, in the fine arts, music, and then most recently in film, which I started teaching at Lone Star in 2017. I love theater, I love movies, I love everything about movies. So this class is a real joy for me to teach, and I'm glad to be able to share my love for theater with you this semester. I moved to Houston in 1996 and was raised in Dallas and went to college out in Lubbock. So I'm a longtime Texas girl, and I have 3 kids, 2 grandkids, and that's just me kind of in a nutshell. So you are going to be making a video to introduce yourself, and so you'll start kind of like I just did with a little bit about who you are. Maybe you can talk about what you're planning to study or your hobbies or whatever, just a little bit about us, about you, so that we can kind of meet you as a person for the class. And then you are supposed to tell us, what is your favorite film? Now, I understand that it's impossible usually to choose one favorite film. It's impossible for me to choose one favorite film. I have several. But for today, for purposes of this class, I'm going to say my favorite film is E.T. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I love this film. It came out when I was a sophomore in high school. Yes, a sophomore in high school. I had a little E.T. doll. He was about this big and he was made of leather. And even though I was a sophomore in high school, my E.T. doll went with me sometimes on trips. He definitely slept beside me in my bed at night. I loved my E.T. So that's my favorite film that I'm going to talk about. Now, look what I did. I made some notes because I went and looked some things up so that I could tell you a little bit about E.T. When you're doing this, you're not going to retell the story of the movie. That's not what you need to do. You can maybe tell a sentence what the movie's about, but the rest of it is going to be stuff that you looked up. So I'm going to assume that most of you have probably not seen E.T., which is a shame. But E.T. is about an alien who is visiting the planet Earth. His ship is studying plant life, and he accidentally gets left behind and is found by a little boy named Elliot, and he and Elliot bond and then work together to get E.T. to return to his ship so that he can return to his home planet. It was released in 1982, so yes, now you can probably figure out how old I am. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. I'm reading from my notes. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. It was written by Melissa Matheson. Some facts. Remember, we're going to do 3 to 4 facts about the favorite film. First, E.T., the actual creature, was done with a stuntman. He was just over 2 feet. He was like 2 feet 10 inches tall. Stuntman. I think that's amazing. Who wore basically the E.T. suit. There are also scenes with E.T. that were created by a boy who, he was like 12, 13 years old. He didn't have legs, had never had legs, so he really knew how to maneuver around on his hands without legs. So he was able to do some of the full body shots of E.T. where there's moving around. And then there's scenes with E.T. where he reaches up and is going across the table, feeling things. That was done by a hand actress. And they created E.T. He has lots of cables and things that operate him, so they built a floor up high so that there could be cables and stuff underneath. And that's how they accomplished E.T. The soundtrack was by John Williams, who is my favorite film composer. And typically when soundtracks are made, when the score is recorded for a film, usually they do the film, and then when they're going in to record the score, they play the film on a screen, and the conductor is watching the film and conducting the orchestra to match what's happening on the screen. When they were getting to the end of E.T., the big scenes that are just unbelievable, how the music really elevates what is already a perfect film ending. John Williams was conducting. He couldn't make the music match the timing of the film. So Steven Spielberg did something that's very unusual. He said, you know what, I'm going to turn the film off. You record the orchestra, how you know the music needs to be played. And then Spielberg went back and re-edited the film to match the score, which is not usually the order that they do things in. But it pays off in a tremendous emotional connection there at the end of the film. Okay, as far as awards, it was nominated for 9 Oscars. It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Best Director, Best Cinematography, Best Editing, and then it won for Best Sound, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound Effects Editing, and of course, that magnificent score. And then finally, oh, I thought this was really interesting. It didn't win Best Picture, which is just, sometimes it's criminal when that happens. The picture that won for that year was the film Gandhi, which, you know, is a great historical picture, a biopic about the wonderful man, Mahatma Gandhi. But Richard Attenborough directed that film, and he has said in later years that he doesn't think his film should have won Best Picture that year. He thinks E.T. should have won Best Picture that year. He thought it was a more superior film, and I would have to agree. I fell asleep during Gandhi. Anyway, that's my favorite film, and that's a little bit about me, E.T., and I hope that you enjoy the semester and just create a video kind of like this. Mine's a little bit longer because I also talked about class and stuff, but yours, 90 seconds to 3 minutes long is a good length, okay? Y'all, let's have a great semester. Email me if you need me. Message me if you have any questions. Bye-bye.